everyone, welcome to another episode of Dietitian Life. Tyson and Peta and special guest Rosanna, who's not quite sure what to make of me.
Who's that? Who is it? Who is it? She knows. She knows.
She'll say it at some point. And then you all know what she calls me. Alright, you go, your week.
So I've had a hectic week, but it's been good. This week I've had a lot of mentor meetings with my team as well as my mentees. So they've been really good. Definitely getting a lot more confident and growing as practitioners, which is really good. Sort of things we've talked about this week, research. So getting them to do some research around particular topics that they're interested in, and then we've been talking about those as well. Clients that they've got that they're struggling with, so just difficulties that they've been, just difficulties such as inappropriate things that family members might say, them not really sort of having goals or wanting to achieve their goals as well, which I think with you've brought that up already, can be obviously a challenging one, but our role is obviously to help them create those goals themselves. Personal stuff with them as well, so just trying to make sure that they're balancing their work and their life. So I guess that's what our role is, to mentor and support. So that's been good, and definitely seeing them grow as well is really cool.
How many meetings have you had this week?
Meetings in general?
Yeah.
I know, like 5, 6, 7 maybe.
Specialists and stuff.
Yeah. What have I had? The other day I had a meeting at at a private hospital. I met with 3 psychologists there, so it's sort of a specialist mental health rehab type of unit. And there's maybe 5 psychologists there. I only got to meet with 3 of them. A lot of them, when we made the phone calls, cold calling, we couldn't actually make the connection and didn't understand why we were wanting to meet with them in the first place. But these guys are really good, quite receptive. Just brought them lunch, which is always good, and pretty much just started to have a chat. We brought up the fact that there's services like exercise fees in the hospital, and then he was talking about all the things that he would do, provide supplements to clients when they're in there if they're malnourished, because his main thing was they would have depressed clients and they'd either not eat or they'd eat too much, or there'd be a lot that were on mood stabilizers, and I was very much aggressive with my point as to why dietetics weren't part of the team. Sorry guys. So why dietetics wasn't part of the team and advocating for us, and certainly particularly for those that are starting on heavy mood stabilizers like olanzapine and clozapine and things like that, and talk to them about things that I've noticed over time with them putting on 20, 50 kilos of weight within a very short space of time, and their mood end up getting worse, so it's kind of not really fixing the problem. He talked to me a little bit about new medications that actually aren't having the same effect, which is really good. But yeah, for sure, identified that we need to probably be more of a force there. So the meeting went well, and literally got a phone call within 4 hours of me being there that he'd mentioned my name and given my card to the head of the hospital, and name dropped, and pretty much looking to see if we can start some sort of engagement or service there, which is really good. Yeah, so that worked. Tick that box. Anyway, so I called them this morning and left a message, and she'll return my call, but that's okay.
We had a managers meeting last night after I got back from Melbourne. So we just talked about...
There wasn't a lot of talking about stuff. There was a lot of catch up because we haven't actually seen each other in person for a while, so it's always good.
Well, there was more talking when you left. So we talked about Veterans Health Week, which this year nutrition is the main theme. So we talked about that and how we could do that across the country. Oh, our other phone's going off. And then And then we talked about budget changes and stuff like that with the new budget that came out, possibility of different things changing for us, and then talking about growth in the business into what other areas we want to explore, stuff we're working on, and the alike. But then we had our PD after that, which Peta took on pretty much carb quality and assessment and terminology use. There's a lot of misuse of terminology in dietetics in general. You'll see it on social media everywhere, but I think people think one thing might mean something different. Like Peter was talking a lot about whole grains, and then unrefined grains versus refined grains versus whole grain, and what terminology to use, and then going through a case study around doing a PES around it, recommendations, and really being quite specific and showing we know our shit. Talking to a client about a concept is very different language to what it is if you feed back to a GP. So a lot of the communication is around how we can improve that. So it was a pretty awesome PD session.
Yeah, I was kind of stressing a little bit about it.
She didn't need to stress, she killed it.
It was more about how it was going to play out. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Lost me a little bit at the start, but then she came around at the end. For me, yeah, I was in Melbourne. So I tried to catch up with as many practitioners as I could, shadowed a couple, which was good. I talked about, like, one was really good, like one of the meal plans that they did was exceptional, and it was good because she mentioned that she'd watched the PD sessions that we'd run for our crew prior to her starting at the company, and that really helped her.
Why was it exceptional?
Why was it exceptional? Because it was pretty much like my one.
Because it was exactly the same as mine.
It was pretty close to the one that I had, but it was for the same type of guy, and she just adapted it to him as an individual. So I had a bit of a pro forma that they could use, and she used most of that, but then had a lot of notes on it, which was really good. Yeah, I just thought it was good.
Have you seen one post before that she'd done?
Not for a guy like that, but yes, but they're more simplified than what my ones usually are, and then she just went above that, and it was really good. And then gave some information about education. So sometimes practitioners will start talking about something and think in their head that it makes sense, but the client is new to a concept. So giving them stuff to look at and to focus the client, especially if the client is someone that bounces around off the walls all the time and goes off on tangents and tells a heap of different stories. It's important to focus. So if you've got something there that it can focus on, that's really good. So having some resources available to them at that time is a good idea. Rosanna's losing interest and now
she's no longer scared anymore. She's like, all right, I want to be a part of this. I'm going to answer your phone, Mum.
And then what else did I do? Yeah, talked to one of the managers down there just about how things are going, make sure workloads are sweet. Don't be grumpy face. And then, so this morning, as you see on my snap, if you watched last week, or today, if you're time traveling, was that I'm talking about contracts and contract restrictions and doing emails around that. Unfortunately, our admin bookkeeper was going to finish up in a couple of weeks, go with her family, which is fine.
So we've got a bit of hiring to...
we do have a lot of hiring going on,
happen.
a lot of movement. Yeah, and we just signed a contract in Albury that we talked about last time, so Peta nailed that, so she's pretty happy with that.
With your help.
Okay, with my help, but at the end of the day, hopefully it results in more work for everyone. And it's always good to get those across the line and give ourselves the opportunity to do more. Today I've got 4 meetings post this, just that I actually organised last night. So we'll see how they go.
I don't know what they are. That's some can't look even
that's because they only happened after PD last night.
Yeah.
The guys that I've wanted to catch up with for a little bit, we just haven't really, with me being away, it's really difficult. So I'm like, I'm on the coast, hit me up. So I'm going to our favourite coffee shop after this.
Oh, and what are you going to drink, Tarzan?
I'm not going to drink a thing. They do have beer on tap though.
Pepsi Max Vanilla?
They do have beer on tap.
They do. It's never too early.
It's 11:30, people. So by the time of the meeting at 1, it's okay. Okay. What else? That's pretty much most of the week, really. Oh, one of the big themes that I kind of want to talk about, it also ties in with the question that was asked during the week of us, is about clients' motivation. So a lot of people whinge about, they see a client and they keep telling them to do things and they're not doing it and they feel like they're not getting it out of the client. Being negative about it is never going to help. So if you're coming in a bit disheartened, thinking that, he's just not going to do it, he wouldn't have done it. If you're negative about it, then it's likely that you're not going to get a positive result regardless. So if that person had a little bit of motivation, it's now gone because you came in as negative Nancy. So my view on it is that if the client is continuing to see you, if the client is in your room, when you talk about readiness of change, that is contemplated. It's not.
People legit would not show up or they would cancel
you. Yeah, like if they're continually seeing you, if you're getting small incremental changes, or even if you're not getting any, the fact that he's still or she's still seeing you, that gives you another opportunity to actually get that change. If you lose them, then they're not ready. But at that point, they are ready. You've just got to approach it in the right way, at the right time, to get the right result. So changing up your approach, changing up your tack, but remaining positive the whole time is really important. You can't just wallow or be negative towards them. It's just
and you're constantly providing them with opportunities to make change, as well as different strategies, like Tyson said. But maybe you just need to continually drop knowledge and educate, re-educate, and then actually they'll get it. It just has to take a while, and sometimes you think that it's not actually adding any value, but think about the rest of their life, how much of an impact. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. You're going to have on their ability to make healthier choices at restaurants, or maybe they've actually not been drinking that much. So just because you're not getting as big results with some, because you're more challenging, and the results that will ensue will definitely be awesome.
And like stuff like, even if you've been talking to them for 6 weeks or you've seen them over the course of 3 months and you don't feel like you're getting anything, but then in one consult they say, I was looking at the labels the other day and I realized that this one was better. That's a win. That's like a long-term educational goal that you can use forever. So that's a win. You just got to celebrate those wins more and not get so disheartened if they don't do everything. Not everyone cares about food as much as you, and not everyone cares if they're going to die. A lot of them will say, I just can't enjoy myself. Or it's just like, we know that we're not like that, but they just think everything you take away. So it's just about approaching it in the right way, remaining positive, and focusing on those.
And another reason that we are there as well is to prevent their health deteriorating. So a classic one was, a classic one was my client I haven't seen for a month just because he'd been away or whatever, and he's generally been really good. Would you like this? He put on 2 kilos between our last meeting.
Who?
One of my clients.
Oh, one of your clients. Yeah.
And I said, well, this is why we catch up every week, isn't that right? Name drop. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I said, okay, so I will see you next week. And he's like, yeah, I'll see you next week. So even though you may not be getting results there all the time, every time, it shows you the power of you being there on a regular basis and the impact you have. So simple as that.
And while Rosanna's freaking out, we'll probably end it there. That is Dietitian Life.
You say wave?
For another week.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Wave. Quick. Bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.